This is Solo P1. Welcome to the F1 race day review, the Dutch GP. This is going to be a quick video today, guys, because I've got other stuff to do today regarding some streams. But I'm going to dive straight into this. Lando Norris, finally a race winner at the Dutch GP. I have been waiting since 2021 or 2022 when they first introduced this race back onto the calendar, because the race is a legendary track. It is a good track. It's an old school track, but it was off the calendar for like 30 years. That's what they said anyway. But when they finally reintroduced it back into the calendar, I just wanted someone else to win it apart from Max. I really wanted Lewis to do it. Lewis didn't do it yet, but it was nice to see a British flag flying high on the podium at the Dutch GP. That alone was just 1,000, whatever. Anyway, but Lando Norris won today comfortably. It didn't have the best start at the beginning. There was a bit of wheel spin regarding the car. They were saying that they couldn't get the temperature into the rear tires. So they were spinning. Both of them were spinning, him and Oscar Piastri. But eventually, as the race progressed, Lando Norris got ahead of Max Verstappen. The pace was so unreal in that car. Since the summer break, when they had the summer break, they've come back and the car it's gone even faster. So I wouldn't be surprised if I see Lando Norris winning the majority of the races come Abu Dhabi at the end of the season. Lando Norris didn't get a good start, like I said. Lewis passed a few cars at the beginning, showed his true world-class style in racing. Lap 18, it took 18 laps. It took 18 laps for Lando Norris to pass Max Verstappen, and he done it easy, really. He didn't go for the overtake straight away. He was just chilling, warming up his tires. He said to his radio engineer, Lando Norris said to his race engineer, who are we racing? Are we racing Max Verstappen or are we racing Oscar Piastri, who was behind them? George Russell, who was behind them. They said, look, race what you're going to race. You've got the speed, go for it. I think it was being a bit sarcastic. They knew they could get back to Verstappen. They knew they had the pace in the car. They saw the data in the car at the end of Q3. They knew they could have the pace to beat Max Verstappen, and that's what they did today comfortably. It was like about 18 seconds at the end, something like that. But lap 24, Lewis pits and puts the hard tires on. So Lewis was going for. I thought Lewis at the beginning was going to go for a one-stopper because he was the only one. Him and I think Lance Stroll and someone else. I forgot. I think it was Daniel Ricciardo. They were the only ones that started off on the soft tires. Everyone was on the medium tires, but they was on the soft tires. Obviously, Lewis was going for an aggressive strategy because obviously he started in 12th place because he got that grid penalty, by the way, which I don't think he deserved. Plus, he got knocked out of Q2 as well, so that didn't help. But he started off on the soft tires. He started gaining momentum for the race, passing a few cars here and there. And then lap 24, Lewis pits at lap 24, puts a hard tires on, so it looks like he was going for a one-stopper. That's what I thought. George pits at lap 26. Lap 25, Lando Norris had a 4-second gap on Max Verstappen. So when he passed Max Verstappen, not long after, he had a 4 seconds gap on him. So basically, as soon as he went out in clear air, it was over. It was a wrap. It's a bit like the old Red Bull car, the way it was at the beginning of the season. Once Red Bull get out in front, it's over. But now it's reversed back to McLaren. George Russell had a little bit of a delay in the pits, about 2 seconds. No, about 1 second, he had a bit of delay in the pits. Norris pit straight after to cover Max, because when Max pitted at lap 29, Lando had to pit just to cover off Max. Even though there was a 4-second gap between them, he had to cover off Max because the you can overcut people here. It's very hard. I mean, it's very easy to gain time through the pits. So when Lando pitted, he put the hard tires on it. He pitted straight after Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen actually was like a 5-second gap between them. And when Max went into the pits and then Lando went to the pits the lap after, Lando lost a little bit of time. He lost a second. But as the race progressed, he made up that time very, very easily. So from then, Lando Norris was in control of the race. At this point, we knew that he was probably going to win the race. Who would ever thought that, man? 25 laps into the race, and you're thinking that Lando Norris was going to win it. In the old days, it was all Max Verstappen. Once Max Verstappen gets out in front, it's over. Not now. It's funny how the tides have turned. The tide have turned in Formula One. Absolutely amazing for fans. You remember when we went through them 2 years when Max Verstappen was just winning everything because the other engineers, the other teams didn't develop their car. Now they've developed their car. Now we're having a brilliant season. It's going to be a showdown. Who's going to win this title at the end? I think the constructors are going to go to McLaren, but the drivers' championship, I don't know. Yesterday I actually said that Max Verstappen was probably going to win the drivers' championship, but after today's performance, the speed of that McLaren, it's going to be a close. Max pits, like I said, Max pits lap 29. Lando pits straight after I put the hard tires on. Lando was in the pit for 3.3 seconds. Yeah. So at lap 40, Oscar passes George. So at this point, I think McLaren was going for one and two. But the only thing with Oscar, when Oscar caught up to when he passed George Russell, everybody thought, right, he's gonna pass Leclerc, no problem. But he didn't pass Leclerc. Leclerc, I don't know what Leclerc was doing, harnesses energy on them straights. Oscar just couldn't pass him. He got in the DRS, but he just couldn't pass him. That's just a hats off to Charles Leclerc, the way Charles Leclerc was managing that car and the energy boost in the car. Theoretically, in theory, he should have passed Charles Leclerc. He had the car to do it. He had the driver ability to do it. For some reason, he just couldn't do it. But apart from that, after that, it just went on. Lando Norris, in the end, won the race. I'll bring up the finishing. Lando Norris actually won the race. There you go. So this is how it finished. Lando Norris won second. Max Verstappen. Look at the gap. 20. I actually said 15, didn't I? 22 seconds gap between Lando Norris and Max Verstappen. Now, like I said yesterday, when I was watching this yesterday in qualifying and before the summer break, I thought maybe Max Verstappen is probably going to win the world title, because the points is just too much. Maybe Lando Norris will get a third or a fourth and probably get a win now and again, because I think there's 8 races to go. But after today's performance, the way that McLaren car is even faster than it was before the summer break, which is absolutely baffling to me. Yeah, I can't really see. It's going to be a good season. It's going to be a good finish. Now, if Lando Norris wins every single race this season, I know Max Verstappen has to take an engine penalty in the next couple of races. I'm not sure if he's going to do it on Monza. Not been confirmed yet. But if he takes that engine penalty, you know what I mean? It's going to be interesting. The only way for me, if Lando Norris is going to win this title, the world title, he has to have help from McLaren. No, he has to help obviously from his teammate, but he has to have help from Mercedes, and he has to have help from Ferrari. There has to be a little gap between them two. If Lando Norris wins every single race and Max Verstappen comes second, Max Verstappen will win the title. But in certain races, he needs that gap in between. He needs at least 2 or 3 drivers in between him and Max Verstappen in certain races. Then he'll have a chance. But if he just carries on as 1 and 2, and Lando Norris and Max Verstappen, we know that Max is going to win because he's got the points gap. But he needs, in certain races, he needs his teammate now. This is where he's going to need his teammate. Like Oscar Piastri, he could have done with him today. If Oscar Piastri would have passed Charles Leclerc, I believe that Oscar Piastri would have passed Max Verstappen. If for some reason he just couldn't pass, Charles Leclerc. And that you get me now. So what he needs now, Lando Norris, he needs Oscar Piastri. He needs his teammates. Yeah, he needs his teammates to get in between him and Max Verstappen, and maybe Lewis or maybe Charles as well in certain races. Not every race, but certain races. If he wants to get that gap down and go into Abu Dhabi, this is what we need. This is exactly what we need. But I hope it happens. I really want Lando Norris to win this world title. I really want him to, being a British guy as well, British flag. He's what it is. I just want him to win this world title. I think it's time. It's his time. If you know what I mean, I think it's Lando's time to win a world title, and I think this is the year he's got to do it. He's got to do it. But this proves what I said. It's always at the end of the regulations. When the regulations come to an end, the last 2 years, that's when it starts to get spicy, and it's happening right now before our very own eyes. So that's the end of the review, guys. Sorry it was a quick one, but I've got to head off. Well done to Lando Norris. Hats off to McLaren. Keep pushing. Get Oscar Piastri in between Lando Norris and Max Verstappen. This is where you're going to need your teammate and hopefully some help from Mercedes and Ferrari as well, because Mercedes are fast. It didn't happen for them today. It did not happen for them today, but they are fast. Monza is going to be a great race. That's going to be the next race coming up. Hopefully, we'll have Toto Hammer back as well, because he's coming off his holiday. So it won't be just me talking to myself. We'll have Toto Hammer there as well. So this is me signing out, guys. Big up to everybody. I'm going to go and do the football now. Liverpool is playing today, first home game back in the season. So this is me signing out. See you later, guys. Have a good Sunday. Bye.
Stop the brakes.